Welcome to Enlightening Explorations, the platform where we dive into intriguing facts and stimulating discussions. We're thrilled to have you with us on this journey through a world of fascinating insights. Together, we'll explore the unexpected and mind-blowing. So, if you're ready to uncover a wealth of knowledge you never knew you needed, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Sam Harris, a figure known for his depth of thought and controversial ideas, is not easy to define. Trying to sum up his complex personality in a few words is a challenging task. However, delving into the intricacies of Harris's beliefs and worldview is worth the effort. At the heart of Harris's philosophy is a strong belief in the importance of reason and science in understanding human existence. He encourages us to critically examine even our most deeply held beliefs, arguing that only through such rigorous inquiry can we hope to find meaningful solutions to the many challenges facing humanity. Harris's call for intellectual rigor applies to all areas of thought. Sam Harris is a neuroscientist, philosopher, and prolific author who has written extensively on topics like religion, morality, and free will. He is a controversial figure, and his ideas are often taken out of context. Here are a few examples. Islam is the motherlode of bad ideas. This quote is often used to label Harris as Islamophobic. However, Harris has clarified that he is criticizing specific beliefs and practices within Islam that he sees as harmful, rather than Islam as a whole. He also believes that Muslims are just as capable of reason and moral progress as anyone else. Free will is an illusion. Harris argues that our choices are influenced by our genes and our environment, and that we don't have the kind of free will that most people believe in. This view is sometimes misunderstood as saying that we're not responsible for our actions. However, Harris believes that we can still make moral judgments and hold people accountable for their actions, even if we don't have free will in the traditional sense. Morality is based on science. Harris believes that we can use science to determine what is right and wrong. He argues that morality ultimately revolves around the well-being of conscious beings, and that science can help us understand how to promote well-being. This view is often criticized for being overly simplistic and for not taking into account the role of culture and tradition in shaping morality. It's important to remember that these are just a few examples, and there are many other opinions of Harris that have been taken out of context. It's also important, beyond his dedication to rational thinking, Harris emphasizes the power of individuals to bring about positive change in their own lives and in the world at large. He argues that each person has the ability to make transformative shifts, both personally and in society. This belief in individual empowerment is a fundamental aspect of Harris's worldview. Religion and Islam. Harris is a strong critic of religion, particularly Islam. He believes that certain religious doctrines, especially within Islam, can lead to violence, intolerance, and division. While this has led to accusations of Islamophobia, he maintains that his criticism is directed at specific beliefs and practices, not the entire Muslim community. Morality and science. Harris advocates for a scientific approach to morality. He argues that morality should be based on the well-being of conscious beings, and that scientific understanding can guide us in promoting well-being. Critics argue that this approach overlooks the influence of culture, tradition, and personal values on moral codes, free will, and responsibility. Harris challenges the traditional notion of free will, asserting that our choices are ultimately influenced by our genes and environment. This has raised concerns about accountability for actions, but Harris believes that we can still hold people responsible while acknowledging the limitations of free will. Race and intelligence. Harris's association with Charles Murray, who holds controversial views on race and intelligence, has drawn criticism. Harris's willingness to engage with Murray's ideas has led to accusations of endorsing racial prejudice. Although Harris maintains that open dialogue is essential for understanding and addressing complex issues, identity politics and social justice. Harris has expressed skepticism towards identity politics, arguing that focusing on group identities can hinder progress towards social justice. He advocates for a more universal approach to human rights and well-being. Critics argue that this stance downplays the importance of addressing systemic inequalities and power dynamics, artificial intelligence, and existential risk. Harris has raised concerns about the potential dangers of artificial intelligence, AI, warning that superintelligent AI could pose an existential threat to humanity. He advocates for careful development and ethical considerations in AI research. Harris's controversial opinions have sparked numerous debates, making him a polarizing figure. However, his willingness to challenge conventional thinking and engage in open dialogue has also earned him respect as an intellectual who pushes the boundaries of understanding. Yet, for all the acclaim Harris receives for his incisive thinking, there are dissenting voices. Critics argue that his perspectives can veer towards the overly simplistic and that his willingness to engage with controversial ideas can sometimes border on recklessness. It is this very willingness, however, that some of his admirers find refreshing and necessary in an era marked by ideological rigidity. Regardless of where one stands on the spectrum of opinions about Harris, his impact on the intellectual landscape is undeniable. His writings and discourse have compelled countless individuals to reevaluate their positions on crucial issues. Sam Harris, born on April 9, 1967, in Los Angeles, California, emerges as a polymath of American intellectualism. His diverse pursuits encompass authorship, neuroscience, philosophy, and the art of podcasting. Armed with a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy from Stanford University and a Ph.D. in neuroscience from the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, Harris fuses his academic grounding with an unyielding passion for addressing matters of atheism, secularism, ethics, and the intricate interplay between science and religion. The End of Faith, 2004, a seminal work in his repertoire, stands as a powerful critique of religion, advocating for a more rational, science-centered approach to ethics and spirituality. Alongside luminaries like Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens, Harris played a pivotal role in popularizing atheism and secularism in the early 21st century. His literary oeuvre extends to other impactful volumes, including Letter to a Christian Nation, 2006, The Moral Landscape, 2010, and Waking Up: Shade Guide to Spirituality Without Religion, 2014. In the latter, Harris contends that science can furnish a framework for comprehending human morality and values. The podcast Making Sense, subsequently rebranded as Waking Up, serves as a testament to Harris's proclivity for engaging in profound dialogues with a diverse array of guests. Topics span the gamut from the realms of science, philosophy, and religion to the pressing issues of contemporary society. It is imperative to acknowledge that assessments of Sam Harris and his work are marked by a wide spectrum of opinions, spanning from unmitigated acclaim to pointed critiques. The fulcrum of these debates often revolves around his viewpoints on religion, Islam, and his approach to contentious subjects like free will and morality. In the sphere of religious discourse, Harris has ventured into a series of momentous debates with figures such as Robert Wright, Andrew Sullivan, Rick Warren, Rabbi David Wolpe, Deepak Chopra, Gene Houston, William Lane Craig, Jordan Peterson, and Reza Islam. These exchanges have probed the rationality of religious belief, the nature of truth at the intersection of religious values and scientific fact, and the essence of objective morality in the absence of a divine arbiter. Politically, Harris aligns himself with liberalism, wearing the badge of a registered Democrat. His advocacy extends to causes such as championing same-sex marriage and advocating for the decriminalization of drugs. In his op-ed for the Los Angeles Times, Harris laid bare his support for much of the criticism levied against the Bush administration's Iraq War and fiscal policies, while also contending that liberalism must grapple with the tangible threats posed by Islamic fundamentalism. It is worth noting that the information provided is accurate up until September 2021, and any developments occurring after that date fall beyond the scope of this response. Sam Harris, with his intricate tapestry of ideas and influence, remains a compelling force in contemporary intellectual discourse. Thank you for joining us on Enlightening Explorations. If you found this video as captivating as we did, don't forget to like, comment, and share to spread the